3 years ago, if someone would have told me that I would be sitting in a cafe and recording a video for my YouTube channel, I would have called that person stupid because I never thought that I would be able to do something like this. And the reason being, from a very simple point of view, that talking to a camera or thinking that I have something worth enough to share to the world was never an occurrence. And I was not afraid of it, but I did fear it. And I didn't fear it because if I'll be able to do it or not. I feared it more from a point of view of what will people say to me or what will people think about me. And today, this episode is the story of why we are so worried of what people think about us or why we are so worried of them judging us. And let me take you back to my childhood from where all of this started. I, from the in school when I was from first standard to fourth standard, I used to be in this school known as Nirmala Convent High School in Satara. And over there we had, it's a convent school, right? So we had to speak in English always. We wanted to be all in a certain manner, like a lot of rules, a lot of strictness around the way you perform, the way you behave. I remember if we didn't speak in English, we used to get whacked on our hand, saying like, "How can you be a part of a convent school and not speak in English?" Which found really well until one day my life changed entirely. And my parents decided to move to Pune because my father had a better job opportunity over there. They did tell me that we will be moving to Pune. And this one decision of us shifting our house impacted me at levels and at places that I can't even think. And now that I've grown up, I can see the effects of that one change that has come to my life. When we decided to move to Pune, we bought a house and then my parents decided to put me into this school known as Sinhagad City School. And everyone has really fond memories of this school. I have the worst memories of my school. Uh, luckily, I've been interviewed quite some times, and every time I go to an interview and for a podcast, and then they ask me, "What's the one thing that you want to change in your life?" My go-to answer is, "I want to change the school that I completed my schooling from because that school has destroyed me at an unimaginable level, and it was just a really shit experience for me to be a part of that school." And let me explain you why I am saying it was such a bad experience. So, till fourth standard, I was a very cute, sweet boy who used to hang out a lot with women. As I said in the earlier episode, my three best friends were all girls. And coming to this school, it wasn't the case anymore. It was a school which was predominantly boys heavy, and boys also who came from a village closer by known as Sarswad. And at the same time, boys who came from different backgrounds in Pune. These boys were like, how do you call it? Typical boys. Like boys who will thrash you, boys who will punch you in your face, and वो कहते हैं ना, men will be men or boys will be boys. Exactly those kind of boys. And imagine like this tall, cute, soft, chubby boy who will just walk into his school thinking that, oh, I'm going to talk to everyone in English. This is a school which is going to be very respectful. The teachers are going to be very nice and kind to you. And the school wasn't that. The school was really toxic. And I don't blame the kids for it because I don't think so they ever understood. Like the concept of kids being kids is correct. Like they were doing what they were seeing around. I think it was the turn of teachers to take up responsibility on how they train us, how they groom us, how they look at us. And there's a very fun story of me getting bullied as well that I want to share it with you, but that's for some other time. But over here, I was someone who used to love public speaking, who used to love and going and sharing things with teachers. I was very emotional, I was very expressive as a child. So I thought that's a good thing. But later on, I realized that it's not. Also, along with that, very recently I figured out that I might have ADHD and dyslexia on a spectrum, like on a very minor spectrum, but I might have that. And I spoke to my therapist about it also. She said that yes, you might have slight ADHD and dyslexia, but not something that can come to your day-to-day life. And if it's not harming in your day-to-day life, do you want to get it checked? And my answer was no. But now that I think about it, in school, when I used to write spellings, I used to always mess up with B and D. I used to always mess up with ch and j. I used to do spelling mistakes like VEGETABLE, but I would send it like VEGETLABLE. Like I would always swap the places, or if I have to remember a date saying like 20th October, I would remember it like 1002, or like I would mess up numbers here and there. And my teachers made so much fun of me for messing up these numbers, messing up the spellings. They used to beat me. They used to get me in the middle of the classroom and just humiliate me. I remember one. Right now very less hair, but back in school I had like curly hair. So this teacher, my Hindi teacher, used to call me "Chidiya ka ghosla" because I had curly hair. It wasn't a choice of which kind of hair I was born with, but I had curly hair. So this teacher used to call me Chidiya ka Ghosla in front of my entire classroom, and my classroom used to have a blast at when she used to call me Chidiya ka Ghosla, because as kids it's funny, right? Like to make fun of other kids on the way they look. My sports teacher used to make fun of me because I was tall and skinny and white. He used to be like, "Are you even a boy enough that you don't rough up, or you are always like this neatly kept boy?" Teachers made fun of me at every given point of chance. Like I was the clown of the class, and I would have liked it if they were laughing at the jokes that I cracked, but I was the joke of the classroom. uh, because I didn't score really well, and everything that was happening to me, sudden change in the cities, etc., my grades dropped like insane. And I remember my teachers used to call my parents and complain that he doesn't pay attention, he doesn't understand, he's a very smart kid, but you need to tell him that he needs to study hard. Whereas it was not that I wasn't studying hard, it was just that I had something, I was suffering with something, and no one thought that it can be true. So they just decided to punish me for that. To a place, a lot of times my teachers told me that you are going to be useless or worthless in your life because you don't do these things well, you don't score well. And in Indian system, everything that you do comes down to your grades, how much you score, how well your marks are. And they were very clear that because I didn't score good, I couldn't write basic spellings, I couldn't remember basic things, I was not going to end up doing anything in my life. I was going to be a failure. The label of being a failure was given to me at a very early age, and I accepted that. I said yes, that I am going to be a failure. I said yes, I don't think so there is any chance of me going to be successful. So now when I am an adult and I achieve any form of success, I get to a place where I don't think so I deserve this success. I don't think so I have the right to be successful, because very early on in my life I had been told that I am not going to be successful. Funnily, when I won my 30 under 30 award, I dedicated to all my teachers, because they were the ones who didn't believe in me. They were the ones who told me that I was not going to be good enough, and there was some kind of a motivation that gave me saying like I'm going to prove all of these teachers wrong. And when I won that award for the first time, I felt, sorry for the disturbance. Wait on a minute. I'm sitting in a cafe, so there's going to be surround noise that you're going to hear. But when I won that award, I decided to give it to my teacher, because thanks for not believing me, because of your less faith, or because you didn't believe in me, I had the motivation to do something. I had the motivation to win an award. So yeah, to all those students whose teacher judge, who the society judges by how much you score, it's okay. It's okay to be judged by it, because in the longer run, no one cares about how much you score. In the longer run, no one cares about how you have performed. In the longer run, all that matters is how much work you have put into it, how creative are you, what you're doing, and your worth should not be attached to how much you score. It took me a lot of time to learn this lesson. It took me a lot of time to believe in it. And now finally I've come to a space where I've started talking about my life in public. So yeah, this is to that young Yash sitting in a school thinking about if he's going to end up being something in his life, And I want to tell him that yes, you did. So you have achieved a lot in your life, but it's going to be a tough journey for you, kid. So yeah, I hope if you're watching this, this resonates with you. Again, thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. I need followers. I need motivation to keep on doing this. So yeah, and sorry for the disturbance. I'll try to edit it as much as I can, but I can't promise you. So yeah.